Hello, this is SJ Thompson Live coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please and thank you, and I surely would appreciate it. Um, I noticed that more women of all races, not just black women, but more women are opting for singleness and celibacy. I've been reading a lot of blogs out there and looking at videos and stuff like that and articles. And I noticed that a lot of women are deciding, women of a particular age are deciding to, and even younger women are making the decision to um, remain single and single and celibate. Particularly black women, you would be surprised how many black women have decided to. As I was in a blog and I was reading that a lot of black women were, coming in saying that, yeah, I've been celibate for X amount of time. And I was really, really impressed. And I was really, really happy about that. Really happy to see a lot of black women deciding to take on that journey of celibacy. And a lot of them was coming in saying that, and I think on TikTok too is reading that too, that they decide they would like to just want to remain single for whatever. Some women were, in abusive relationships, maybe either emotionally or physically. They was married before, and the marriage wasn't good. The man was abusive or whatever the situation was. And then they just make the decision that they just don't want to do it no more. That they just don't want to endure that anymore. They just don't want to take a chance. They just don't want to commit to another man and taking a chance. And I'm hearing from a lot of women. A lot of women are saying that marriages work. Do you know that statistically, single women live longer? That's a statistical fact. Statistically, single women live longer. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Single women live longer. I said, oh, that's interesting. Why is that? Why do single women live longer? And I think it's because, well, men run you crazy. Men worry you half to death. But I think it's because women, when we're in these marriages, relationships, we give so much of ourselves. We give so much of ourselves when we're in marriages. I've never been married, but I was in relationships. And even when I was in my relationships, I gave so much of myself in these relationships. Women put in so much work to try to maintain the marriage, trying to please the man, trying to make him happy. And especially in a marriage type situation, a lot of women were coming in saying that, they had to, put a lot into the marriage as far as taking care of the man. And, physically, they had to put a lot into the marriage mentally and physically and emotionally, that they had to give so much of themselves in these marriages. And then a lot of times the men didn't show no appreciation and things like that. And then they're just like, I'm not trying to do that again. I don't want to do that again. And a lot of women are enjoying their single life. It's a huge misconception that all single women are miserable and lonely. That is the biggest misconception, because I hear so many single women. It's really, really encouraging. It's really, really encouraging, because there was a time that I wanted to get married really bad, and as time went on, I was I was disappointed as time went on that I wasn't married, because society is always telling us that. I think society tells women that, you ain't nothing unless you got a man, you know unless you got a husband, unless you got a man or whatever. Even a family, even children, because you got a lot of women that opted out of motherhood. And you got society is always telling us that that this is what you need to have to be a real woman, to be a real complete woman, and that's not necessarily true. The Apostle Paul, and I think it was the Apostle Paul in the Bible, said, I would prefer that you remain as I am. But because there's so much immorality, because there's so much immorality, let every man have his own wife and every woman have her own husband. And so, but even the Bible um, speaks highly on singleness. Even the Bible encourages singleness because when you're single, you can focus on more things of God. You can focus on building up your relationship with God. You can devote more time to God and to building up your relationship with God. And you don't have another person that you have to worry about. Whereas if you're married, your loyalties are going to be divided because now you're trying to please God, but you also got to try to please your husband. And so it's same vice versa with a man with a wife. And so that's why he said he prefer um, um, you people do better spiritually. Single people do better spiritually because they don't have that other person that they have to try to please and all that kind of stuff. So single people do better spiritually. And so even the Bible encourages singleness. Now, I'll go on record in saying that I'm not saying anything against marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Two people love one another, wants to spend their lives together. Um, a healthy, a healthy. Notice I said healthy, a healthy, loving marriage between two people is a very beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful institution. It's a very, very beautiful thing. Very beautiful thing. But it's a lot of women that are realizing, they're not that the society's trying to sell this marriage and family concept onto women, and a lot of women saying, you selling, I'm not buying," because a lot of women are enjoying. I just love reading the different comments from different women saying, and this is women of all races, saying, "Hey, I'm enjoying traveling and spending time with my friends and my family, and I got a great job, or I got my hobbies, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I love coming home and just being at peace and don't have to worry about taking care of somebody. I can just kind of do my own thing." So, a lot of women are really, really. I'm finding that a lot of women are also opting for celibacy, singleness, but on top of that, they're opting for celibacy. I've mentioned on here other times that I've been abstaining for many years. Best decision that I ever made in my life. And it's nice to read other women saying the same thing. It's nice to read when I read these blogs and I hear other women coming forth and saying, "Yeah, I'm celibate too," and practicing celibacy and all that kind of stuff too. So I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing that even younger women, even women, it's not just women of a particular age, but it's younger women that's in their 20s and 30s that's saying, "Hey, I don't think I want to get married. I don't think I want to have a family. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy doing my own thing. I enjoy my career or whatever." I don't think, I mean, 20s is a little young to come to that because I think we change every decade, and how you feel in your 20s may not be how you feel in your 30s. But there's a lot of women in their 20s that said that they just never felt the need to have any children and start a family or whatever the situation is. And they're opting for singleness. And then you have a lot of women that just they've been there, done that. Some women have already had the best. Some women were married for many years to a wonderful man, and the husband passed away. And if you had already had the best, who needs the rest? And there's a lot of women like that. I know a lady that was married for many years and had a blessed husband. She had a blessed husband, and he passed away, and she doesn't feel the need to remarry. If you had the best, what do you need with the rest? You know what I mean? What are the chances of lightning striking twice? Of you getting two great husbands in one lifetime? I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean, yeah, I mean, it can happen. It's possible. Anything is possible, but it's like lightning striking twice. 9 times out of 10, I don't know. You probably won't get two great husbands in a lifetime, but some women do. Some women do, but it's rare. So some women, that situation. Some women have been married and divorced, or they might have been married once or twice and they divorced, and it's like I don't want to do it no more. The man cheated on me, this and that and the other, and they might want to take the time to remain single and heal, because especially if you're coming out of a traumatic marriage type or relationship type situation, they want to take time to work on themselves and take time to heal. So sometimes there's a lot of times there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. I know that was the case for me. There was a lot of healing that needed to take place, um, because of pain, and pain from relationships and things like that. And sometimes there's childhood traumas that people have had to endure, that women have sometimes a lot of women have had childhood traumas that they may need to seek therapy, and just sometimes it's just a situation to where you just need to work on yourself. Like, you need to work on yourself spiritually and mentally, and just work. It's a situation to where you just need to work on yourself before you can really have a successful relationship with someone else. So everybody's situation is different. And a lot of women are just saying, hey, I'm good. I'm good. I might date here and there, but other than that, I don't want to get married. I'm fine being single. But it's just the black manosphere wants everybody to believe that, oh well, you women, particularly black women, are going to be single and they're going to be miserable and they're going to die alone and all this kind of stuff, to try to make us. They say that to try to make us feel bad. They try to say that to try to make us feel bad, and making it seem like, your life ain't gonna be about nothing without a man in it. And that's the message that when they say stuff like that, that's the message that they send to us, or that they're trying to send to us, and say, well, you ain't gonna be about nothing without no man, and that cannot be further from the truth. But that's what society tells women. It tells us, and I think that's why a lot of us get caught up when we're younger and wanting to be married, because you have society telling you that, oh, you need to get married and you need to have a family in order to be a full woman, in order to be a fulfilled woman, or just to be a real woman, or whatever. This society, telling women, that's what women need to do. That you're not nothing without a man, and that's not true. That cannot be further from the truth. Um, but that's what society want to put in the women's head. And I think that's a horrible message to send to women, because when women go around thinking that they have this mindset, particularly our young women, if they're going around having this mindset that I gotta have a man, then they'll be putting themselves in situations to where they're going to be abused, like they're going to be abused or mistreated and all that type of stuff. So particularly our young women and young ladies coming up, we don't want to give the message to them that they just have to have a married man. You got to have a husband. You got to have a family. Because women don't have to have these things to be happy. And it took me, I used to think that I needed a man to be happy. I used to think that I needed a man to be happy. And I used to think that, well, if I don't get married, I'm going to be miserable. Yeah, I used to think like that too. And, um, but I've come to realize that I'm so happy that I'm in this place now. I am so happy that I've actually got to a place to where I don't believe that anymore. That a woman can live a fulfilled life without getting married. A woman doesn't have to be married to be happy. If statistically they say single women live longer, that ought to tell you something right there. Okay? If that don't tell you nothing, nothing will. So it's like I said, marriage is a beautiful and a wonderful thing if you find the right person, if you find the right man. Um, and that's like trying to look for a needle in a haystack. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And you find somebody that's going to really have your back. You get somebody that's going to really have your back and somebody that's going to look out for you and really love you the way you deserve to be loved. That is rare to find. It's so hard to find a man that checks off certain boxes. Someone that's going to be faithful to you, spiritual, have a certain amount of spirituality, going to have that commitment to you, going to love you. It's so hard to find a man to check off certain boxes. And you know, a lot of women, it's like, you know, I'm good. I'm straight. Being single. And um, and a woman doesn't have to be married to be happy. A woman don't even have to have a family to be happy. A woman can live a fulfilled life without having a husband and a family. If you do get a husband and a family, that's a beautiful thing. If it's a healthy marriage, and if it's the right man for you in a healthy marriage, it's a beautiful situation. But we got to stop telling women that women have to be married. Women have to have children. Women don't have to be married, and women don't have to have children. You know, and women can be single and not have a family and still live a fulfilled life and still be okay. And they're definitely approved by God because the Bible says so. Because the Bible speaks highly of singleness. So hit me up in the comment section if you're married, single, whatever. Let me know whatever status you are. If you decide you want to remain single. As far as me, marriage is not completely off the table for me. But I mean, at the same time, I say, hey, if it, I don't, to be honest, I don't particularly see marriage in my future. Um, I say, hey, if I never get married, I think I'm gonna be okay. I think I'm gonna be all right. I think I'm gonna be just fine. So, I'm not. I just got to the point to where I just got tired of worrying about it anymore. So I just got tired of worrying about it. I got tired of crying about it. I got tired of complaining about it, and I just was starting to get on my own nerves. And I just got tired of worrying about it. It was so many other areas in my life that I needed to focus on. And I said, you know what? There's other areas of my life that I need to be focusing on. And I really don't need to be sitting up here worrying and focusing on whether I get a husband or not. You know, particularly when it got to the point to where my children was already grown and already, because I got to admit I hated being a single mother. So that was one of the reasons why I really did want to get married when my sons were younger. Wasn't the only reason, but it was, I didn't like being a single mother and doing everything on my own, but God got me through it. It is what it is, and God got me through it. So, and a stepdad, sometimes that's a difficult situation with when you're dealing with stepfathers and things like that. So maybe it wasn't meant for me to endure that and having to go through that. And so, um, yeah, I mean, it's not completely off the table for me. I mean, because I could meet a man and, could he could be the love of my life, and I'd be like, oh, I just can't live without you. But well, he got to be at this point. He'd have to be one heck of a man. He'd have to be really, really. I would really, really have to be impressed by him because, yeah, it's. I think as we get older, we get more picky. My tolerance level as we get older. I don't know about some of you older ladies of a particular age, but my patience is not good anymore. When I was younger, I had so much patience when I was younger in my relationships. I had so much patience. Oh my God, I had the patience of Job. But now, you even look like you ain't up to. Come on, and I can tell too. I said, no, I don't have time for your drama. Hit the door. And some of the things I put up with when I was younger, there's no way in heck I would put up with now. I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that foolishness. I'm getting too old for that foolishness. I'm getting too old for that mess. Go on, take it on up the road. But anyway, let me know what your status is. If you're single, do you want to get married or do you want to remain single or celibacy or whatever it is that you got going on? Let me know. Hit me up in the comment section. How do you feel about women being liberated in that way as far as wanting to remain single? And do you think what do you think women can live happy and fulfilled lives without the benefit of a husband and family? Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are in the comment section, and let me know what your status is. Okay, go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, and share. And until the next video, you guys be blessed and be safe and have a happy new year.